Okay, welcome everyone back to the Unspoken Truth, the show where we strip away all the filters. We tell you the truth about building a coaching business that's scalable and sustainable. And we're going to give you the strategy and the mindset shifts that are necessary so that you can make it all work. I am Jay, the strategic consultant, half of this powerhouse duo. And alongside me is my sister in business, my co-host, Kyna. She's your leadership and mindset coach. She's going to get your head right so you can get your business right. Hey, Kyna.
Hey.
Together, we're going to help you build, strengthen, grow, and scale your business with structure, clarity, and intention. Every episode, we're going to deliver real strategy, real growth, real experiences. So, we're always going to tell you the truth. It's always going to be unfiltered. That's why it's the unspoken truth, right? So, in this episode, woo, you can tell by the title that it's juicy. We're going to talk about how there are certain beliefs around selling that's holding you back from going through those different phases of business growth, business building, business scaling. So that build, strengthen, grow, scale part of it. And we want to address it in the fact that it's not a tactic to use to build your business. Selling is more than that. It's about leadership. It's a belief system. It's a reflection of how you feel about yourself, how you feel about your business, your offer, and your client, and the transformation that you're going to provide. So this one is going to be heavy, heavy. So go ahead, grab your pen, grab your drink, whatever, get nice and cozy because we're gonna head on into it.
Mm-hmm. Let's
Kyna,
go. Let's
now
go.
we said that we're gonna focus on three beliefs. So you all stick around to the end because we may have something additional that we're gonna talk about in regards to this. And before we get into it, make sure that you are following, make sure that you subscribed, make sure that you like, and even if you want to give a little comment, go ahead and do it down below. Now, like I said before, we're not talking about just your bank account only. We're talking about these belief systems. So, let's get into belief number 1, that you're focused on your offer and not the client. Kyna, what's your viewpoint on it?
Well, number one, before I jump into that belief, you said something that I'm like, and I hope those of you that are listening really take a step back and examine your own perspective, your own way of showing up when it's time to sell. So whether it's a service, yourself, a product, a physical product, but you said the way we sell or not sell is a reflection of you, your business, and your offer. And I felt like I was in a ring when you said all three of those because there I want to make sure people understand something. I've struggled with this. And the reason why I've struggled with it has a lot to do with me, like the reflection of me and my ability to deliver at the level that I want to deliver. Creating offers, and some of you may fall into this, creating offers, creating a service, even creating products. A lot of us enjoy that. Like we can go hours, weeks, months, years trying to create a product or a service because it's fun. But the problem is when it's time for you to go to the prospective client that you've created this for and sell it. If you heard what I said, some people take years creating an offer, not years learning a client, not years working with the client, not getting their feedback, figuring out what's working or not working, but they shift so much of their attention on the offer. Why? Because your offer's not going to give you that blank stare. Like, what are you talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Your offer isn't going to necessarily tell you, like, that's not solving my problem.
Mhm.
Your offer is not going to necessarily tell you initially that what you've created another problem that you're now going to have to help your client figure out. It's not going to tell you any of that. And then once you figure that out, then you hesitate selling because now, like I said, you have to deliver. Now you have to show up, like actually show up to do the work. And especially if you're a coach, like, I don't know about you, Jay, but I've worked with people over the years that get them 2 coaching sessions a month for the next 6 months, and I'm gonna have 20. Okay, let's do this math right now. Jay and I was just talking about a math situation. Let's do the math. If you are going to do 2 sessions a month for 20 clients, that's 40 calls in 30 days. Are you mentally, physically ready to have to coach somebody through their stopping point 40 times in 30 days? Let's not ignore that you already got 99 things on your plate right now. So you've spent so much time looking at what, like the offer, making the concessions feel so sexy. I'm going to have them journal. What they doing with that journal? Like, what's the purpose of the journal? I'm going to have them do these worksheets. Okay. And then what? And then what? I'm going to give them this report. I'm going to give them, and then what? And these are questions that you really need to ask. And bigger picture, are those things going to help your client get out of the spot that they're in when they meet you? So when they're in front of you, is that journal going to make sense? Is that worksheet going to make sense? Probably not. And you would know that had you spent more time focusing on the client, understanding what they actually need in that moment. Understanding that if I'm coming to you because I'm struggling with sales, right? A lot of times that's confidence. A lot of times there are things that, like, work that you have to do to build confidence, and sometimes it's a little bit of time. What does that look like? The thing that people hate. Let me go live. Oh, no, no, no. I can't go live because I don't know what people are going to ask me. You know how many times I've had clients that said that to me? I don't know what they're going to ask me, and I need to be prepared. So what's going to happen when you're in that 45-minute coaching session? What you going to tell them I'll get back to you? So now now you went from 2 to 3 calls because now you got to get back to them.
Mhm.
So ideally, when you're looking at the business that you're creating, you want to make sure that whatever it is you're creating is actually a solution for the person that you are trying to serve. If not, I'm not saying go back to the drawing board, but what I am saying is put them first. Put your client, your customer first. And the more you do that, the more confident you actually become because you understand what their problem is. You understand, like I just said, I know that 9 times out of 10, if somebody's struggling with sales, it's confidence. I also know that there's probably other areas in their life, other areas in their business where they have already demonstrated being confident. Even if it's just the fact that they put the business out there, put it on the internets. that's that's a version of confidence. So it's a matter of saying, okay, you've already demonstrated that you're confident. We just need to figure out how we can shift that to you selling what you have created.
Mhm.
So yeah, I implore you, look at your client first, focus on what their pain is, focus on the challenge that they have, and then look at your offer, look at your service, and make sure that, okay, each one of those things that you're delivering is solving an actual problem with where they are at that moment that they meet you. I don't mean, so what is it, Jay? Build.
Strengthen, grow, scale.
Right. So if I'm creating something that's at the build stage or the scale stage, and they're at the build stage, like, I'm going to miss them because they have not built the foundation. They haven't done the things that we know need to happen in order for me to get them to the scale stage. So you have to, again, look at your offer, look at your service, and say, client, yep, no, oh, they're not ready for that yet. They're not ready for this yet. That's a later on. That's a phase two, phase three thing that we need to work on. For right now, we need to work on your consistency. We need to work on you showing up over and over again, and that's how you'll build confidence.
I'll add another way how coaches or service providers focus on they focus on the offer and not the actual client. Whenever you do have your marketing messaging or you have your discovery calls or whatever the case is, you focus so much on what they're getting. So it's, hey, you get 6 calls in a workbook and Voxer access, and you'll get a private portal, and you'll get one-on-ones, and you'll get 8 modules and weekly trainings, and you focus on the things. And let me address this here, because people say, well, a part of selling is the what's in it for me question.
Mm-hmm.
And it is, but you also have to look at that while there's nothing wrong with listing out, and you will have to list out all the things that they're getting, focusing on them is connecting why all of these things are necessary
Mm-hmm.
to the transformation that they want. You remember, like, back in the day, they had Calgon, right?
Mm-hmm. Take me away.
The commercials, if you remember, if you can in your mind's eye, what did they look like? They had this dreamy sequence. It'll be a mom, after a hard day, she's finally getting in the tub and ready to relax, and that she's going to be taken to some dreamy place far away from the kids and the husband and the job and the stuff. They're selling what that bath will make you feel.
Mm-hmm.
What that this product is going to give you something that's luxurious and of this experience. They're not sitting up there talking about, okay, this is X amount of milliliters in a box, and this is, we own it's only $2.95 instead of $5.95, like whatever else. You get it, it's 20 times more. They don't talk about all of that. They talk about the experience,
Mm-hmm.
the transformation. After you, also, do you see that with Dawn?
Mm-hmm.
Dawn
Mm-hmm.
cuts grease and it does this. And after a while, it started focusing on it leaves your hands so soft and smooth
Mm-hmm.
and stuff. So, yes, you're having to wash 20 million dishes, but after a while, your hands will be so soft, and your husband will come back and be like, honey, ooh, your hands, what happened? Not that your husband came in and said, babe, sit down, you just finished cooking dinner. It was great. Let me go ahead and take care of these dishes. No, he's not worried about that. He's worried about the soft hands.
And Dawn feeds right into that.
Right. And you're sitting there, it's gonna give me soft hands. It's picking up in the things, the transformation that it's going to provide for you. Not
Mm-hmm.
necessarily all the little stuff that's in it.
Mm-hmm.
So whenever you are in a position to sell your coaching program, understand that your client is not buying your container. She's buying the relief, the clarity, the decision, the results, the transformation, the other side of working with you. So stop making your offer the main character.
Mm-hmm.
The main character is your client's problem, their desire, the cost of them staying the same and not moving forward, the cost of staying stuck.
Mm-hmm.
And your offer is the path to their transformation. So know what the main character of this story is and then focus on that. So before we move to our next one, let me give you 6 questions to think about. What's the problem that she's tired of experiencing or carrying? I need to make that the character. What decisions will she need to make? If it's a hefty investment, well, is she going to have to move stuff around? Is she going to have to talk to her husband or her partner? Is she going to have to, what decisions does she have to make in order to make this decision? What
Mm-hmm.
mistakes is this offer going to help her to stop repeating?
Mm-hmm.
What would make this offer feel like a moment of clarity? Help her to feel like she's building momentum by doing this or taking advantage of this container, this program, whatever the offer is. And then the last question is, what does she need to believe in order for her to buy?
Mm.
So I said that was 6 questions, that's 5 questions. So what does she need to believe in order to buy? And these things have to be truths. Let me say that.
Again.
These have to be truths. You we ain't trying to hustle nobody. We're not trying to be manipulative. We're not no 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 no. No 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 no.
Mm-hmm.
But what does she have to believe in about herself in order to buy? And some people like, well, on these discovery calls or on these these are not coaching sessions. That's a lie. That's a lie. Yes, they are. Because you're going to have to coach her through this sale.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
There is something that she has. Yes, she's like, okay, that no like and trust factor, but there's something also in her mind that's a an old belief that she's holding on to that you're going to have to coach her through in order for her to say yes. So yes, it is a mini coaching session. And so you're going to have to put on your big girl panties and understand that, okay, this is how I need to show up for her. And by way of me showing up this way for her, these are the benefits to me. I get a client, I get some money, I'm able to feed my family, whatever the case may be. So let's move on to the second one. The second belief is that you don't, hold on, I think I
Me.
hear you typing.
Mm-hmm. My fault.
Okay, that's okay. Let's move on to the second belief. You do not believe in what you're selling. So, what does that look like? That looks like whenever it's time for you to talk about the pricing, you're like, so how much is it? It's it's $5. But you know what? The blah 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 blah. And you try to either rush past it or you try to shift attention away from it. Or you start over explaining why it's $5,000. You're trying to convince them, but basically you're trying to convince yourself that, pricing it at $5,000 isn't too much, that it's reasonable. You're not like, it's $5,000. Yes. And that moment of silence where she's trying to be like, $5,000, can I afford it? That dead space, let it live. Don't sit up there and think you have to fill it in and all that other stuff. Or it'll come in a way of like, I put it out there that it's $5,000. Okay, well, let me change it up. Let me change the pricing. Let me add this. Let me take away that. Let me do this. Da 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 da. And you keep adding stuff to it. You keep changing it before anybody heard it, anybody's seen it, or enough people have heard about it, or enough people have seen it, or you keep adding a whole bunch of discounts or bonuses to it to make it feel like it's worthy of that $5,000 price tag. You're going to have to you're going to have to live with it. If that's the pricing of it, let it be the pricing of it. By the time you let go of it, you need to be convinced. You need to, will you buy your own product? If you won't buy your own product, how can you expect somebody else to? So you need to believe in what you're selling. You need to be convinced in the pricing. And that we'll talk about, how you feel about yourself and how that shows up as well in your selling. But if you don't believe that you can be the coach that you are, or that you can deliver the transformation that you're telling these people that you can provide, then it's best that we look at it, we do something different in your marketing. We do
Mm-hmm.
something different in how you have your business structured, because if you don't believe it, baby, they gonna see through it, and these streets are gonna tell you.
Absolutely. Call you out on your stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Call you out. And Jay, to to the point of believing what you're selling and would you buy it? Let me say this too. You cannot be the only one that this has worked on.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever it is that you're selling, you can't be it. I mean, you're a start. So you create a process, you create something that has worked for you, doesn't necessarily mean it's going to work for the masses. This is why we do betas. This is why we do launches. This is why you see people relaunching stuff. This is why the iPhone has 55 billion iterations of it.
Mm-hmm.
Because the initial promise, the initial reason that you created your service or product will evolve over time as more people use it. But you got to sell to them first. And a lot of times, the reason why you don't believe in what you're selling is because it hasn't been consistently proven.
Mm-hmm.
So there, that word it goes again, consistency. You have to be consistent. And let me just say this, I'm not calling the kettle black, because the reason we can talk about these things is because I don't know about Jay, but I know about Kyna. Kyna has definitely been inconsistent in a lot of areas. And so I am only going to speak from the perspective of being in the shoes that you're probably in right now. Which is why I can speak into this. I can also say, again, the only way through that is not to hire a salesperson. That's not the solution. So please stop thinking that that's the thing. The solution is consistency. Consistency. The solution is going back to belief number one, focusing on the client. That's where sales becomes easier.
Mm-hmm.
Not easy, but easier. Some people are good at it, some people are not. And what I've learned, the people who become good at sales, is because they understand their person. They understand themselves. They understand what it is that they are selling, and the transformation, going back to Jay's point, that will happen if a person buys. They understand that. And so it becomes less robotic and more, you know what? I know somebody, or I have a solution for your problem, and I can tell you in detail what you're going through. I can tell you how you're feeling. I can tell you I can tell you what you actually do instead of what you're supposed to do. I can tell you all that. But a lot of that has to come back from, or go back to the belief in what you're selling. And the only way that you're able to believe in what you're selling is for you to consistently put yourself out there, receive the feedback that you need to get to upgrade what you're selling, and apply those upgrades.
I agree with you, and I'll just say this and we'll move on to the next one. So this is a part of the solution. If you're finding, or the shift, if you're finding yourself really not that confident in your abilities, in your offer, in your business, don't fake the confidence.
Because that's
Don't fake
obvious
it.
too.
Yeah, don't do that. Do these things instead. Figure out where your lack of confidence lies. like we're talking about the offer. So what about it makes you feel uncomfortable? Is it you're not sure that you can show up for 3 coaching sessions? Are you unsure that you have all the answers that your clients will, with the for the questions that your audience will ask you? Are you afraid of taking on that accountability, that if you tell them something and it doesn't work out, then what happens? What is it? And work on strengthening those things.
Mm-hmm.
Your conviction comes from clarity, practice or consistency, proof, and refinement. Kyna has told you all these things. So if you do those things, then guess what? Your confidence and your conviction get stronger, and you're able to show up more assured about what transformation you can provide. Your confidence in your offer. Yes, I know it will do this. Yes, I feel good about this. It'll roll off of your tongue more often than you having to remember in this IG live or in this reel or in this whatever. I have to talk about this offer. It comes naturally because you're
Mm-hmm.
confident in it. So you don't have to worry about selling, 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 selling. And with that in mind, let's talk about people saying, well, that's too pushy or too salesy. I mean, I'm not a salesperson. I'm not, don't want to be the used car salesman. I don't want to be that. What about that belief?
Well, number one, I was actually, when you were saying that, I'm like, you know what? What's the definition of business? That was the first thought that came to mind. The basic understanding, my basic understanding of a business is you have a problem, your customer has a solution, they come together, and everything is right with the world. But how is your client, your customer, going to know that you're the solution? Unless you have a conversation, which is also called sales. How are they going to know? They're not going to. So we insert the dirty salesman, and a lot of us have that point of reference because in our lifetime we bought a car, and for some odd reason, most of us have experienced dealing with somebody who don't understand. I'm just looking. I'm just looking. Give me a minute. I'm trying to figure it. We've experienced those people that are so, and here's the word, desperate, that they ignore what you're saying to them. They don't give you that space. So when it comes to us being in that very seat, we compare ourselves to that person, and I'm like, well, last time I checked, I am nowhere near that. But yet I'm making this statement. I don't want to be pushy. Well, who's saying you're being pushy? You're letting somebody know that you have the solution to their problem. That's not pushy. That's helping. So it's a matter of saying, okay, I need to unlearn that statement. I need to say instead, I have to share. I need to let her know. I need to let him know, like, oh, wait, you know what? I mean, we do it all the time. Think about it. If I go to a restaurant and the food is good, am I not talking about it? Yes, I'm talking about it. If I go to a doctor and I have a bad experience with a doctor, am I telling everybody? Yes, that's a bad sales, but you're still selling. You have now sold that restaurant to somebody else. You're not getting commission. So think about the times throughout our days, throughout our weeks, where we're telling other people about a thing that they have to ultimately go out and buy. So if we shift our thinking to, okay, I understand this customer, I understand this person, I understand what their problem is, and I've created or I have their solution. And I hate to use this word, but don't you kind of owe it to them to tell them? And aren't we in this for service? Aren't we in this to help other people? I mean, most of us say that. I want to help. I want to serve. But you can't serve without selling. You can't serve without telling somebody about the thing that you have that's the solution to their problem. Yes, there's money involved, but you have to share it. And so I think this belief is less about being pushy, because I don't believe the majority of the people, at least the people that we're wanting to attract,
Mhm.
I don't believe them as being pushy. I just believe that for so long that kind of statement has been out there that we somehow, some way have made ourselves that, even though we full blown know we're not.
I really think I agree with you, and I think that excuse is avoidance.
Mm-hmm. It
And
absolutely is.
I'm gonna say I am the president of this group of people here. Hello, I'm Jay Black,
And I'm an avoider.
and I am an avoider. Do I avoid confrontation? Depends on who it is
And what we talking about?
and what we're talking about. Because some days I am here for it, and I got it. I got it all day and any day. I got it for you. On some things, not so much.
Mm-mm.
And the fear of rejection,
Absolutely.
and it comes out because of my childhood, it comes out because of my life. And I'm sure if this is your belief, that it has shown up in that way, and now it has presented itself in your business. Because remember, I said these beliefs are a reflection of you, and what you think about yourself, and the things that you do, and how you show up. So because of things that have happened in my life, yes, I don't want to be rejected.
Rejected, yes.
I mean, really, who does?
Who does?
But there's some people who are like, you could take me, love me, leave me, I don't care. And they might, really feel that way. But for most of us, we don't. And our
Mm-mm.
business is personal. It's personal to us. So what happens, and how this, in addition to what Kyna says, how this shows up in your business is that you spend all the time educating and you never make an offer.
Been
You
there, done
do
that.
all the slides on Instagram, you do all the lives, you do all the workshops, the webinars, the mastermind, you do all of it. You can teach your behind off, and you'll do it 365, but you won't talk about your offer not once. Or if you do, it's reserved for 5 minutes right at the end, and you fly through it so that nobody can really understand what's going on. You go on stories just like I did the other day, but it was because of time. But I was like, yeah, so let me tell you about Built for Clarity. And yeah, so DM me if you're interested. Okay. Like I said, I was short on time, and it was an impromptu live story, but still, if that's your custom, if that's your habit, and you never speak about your offer and talk about what it actually does or the transformation that it provides, then that DM me if you're interested is like, I'm not going to make you interested. I'm not going to try and tempt you. I'm not going to try and incite you. I'm just going to be like, does this sound good? Kind of, sort of, a little bit, maybe, could be. If you're interested, just DM me and I'll tell you.
Mm-hmm.
So that
Mm-hmm.
puts the ball into their court for them to say, I'm interested. So that way, you're not rejected. Do you depend on people to try and figure out the next steps of connecting with you, or to start working with you? Do you hint at your offer instead of making a direct invitation? Do you avoid follow up because you don't want to be annoying? You don't want to be that person. Or do you hire someone and you don't have the money for it, but you want to hire someone to have the sales conversation for you because you're just not that salesperson? All of those things are symptoms of this type of belief. And what you have to look at is that sales is not about manipulation. It's not about, and the thing is that just like you have the right to say no in the things that you decide in life, they have the right to say no too. And whenever you're saying no to someone, you're rejecting an offer from them. So if it's okay for you to reject an offer that someone else is making, It's okay for someone to reject an offer from you, and it has nothing to do with the person that you are. It has nothing to do with, well, I'm not a good coach. That just proves it right there. No, it's just that maybe this isn't the right time. This isn't what I need. This isn't where I'm trying to go. I cannot commit to this time for. There could be a lot of things that this person is saying no to that have nothing to do with you personally. So you don't have to be aggressive. You don't have to take it personal. You don't have to pressure. You don't have to manipulate. You just make clear invitations.
Mm-hmm.
And hey, I'm clear about this is what this does. This is what I do. This is the transformation that I can provide. Explain the value, explain all the things. And here's an invitation. No?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It's okay. We can
Mm-hmm.
still be friends.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to block you.
Yep.
You see what I'm saying? And then you
Yeah.
move on. And I think once you see sales in that and having a conversation and extending an invitation, that it's less about, and remember, it's less about you, more about them. So let's move into our bonus.
Mm.
And I added this one. Have you all seen Friday? Have y'all seen the movie Friday? When Craig is sitting up there with his girlfriend and he's like, yeah, it's nothing. And she's like, why you ain't answer the phone? And then she pulled up to his spot. Famous line for me is, you ain't got to lie, Craig.
You ain't got
You
to.
don't have to lie about your integrity. Have some integrity about yourself. You don't have to exaggerate the transformation. You don't have to exaggerate where you are. You don't have to inflate your revenue. You don't have to lie about your testimonials because people sit up there, "Oh, I'm being transparent. I'm showing you all the Stripe notifications." And in this day and age of AI
And Canva. And
and Adobe product. Baby, I cannot tell you how many times I have seen, I have clocked, I have fired clients for
right.
being less than truthful.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Conjuring up false evidence
Mm-mm.
whenever, and this is how it comes out, not only in those ways, but then you're saying, well, I'm a former procrastinator, but you're still chronically procrastinating. Whenever
Cro-
you say, I'm no longer a sugar addict, but you're now a health addict. Whenever you're providing vague testimonials or stuff that's so over the top. I made $1.5 million by doing this thing right here. $1.5 million in one calendar year.
mm. Yeah, I need. This is where Kyna asks clarifying questions.
Yeah, see, they omit the contextual stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I have a team of 12 people, and I did that all with my business, but you have no clients. You're not saying that your husband helped fund that team of 12. That team of 12 is actually a part of a bigger business, and you're just like a co-coach and you're using their team. It's like, stop. You
Tell
don't
the
have to
people.
lie. If
Yes.
we're going back to the previous beliefs, if you are so confident in your offer, in the transformation that you can provide, if you're so confident in your abilities as a coach, if you are so convinced that you are the coach that your audience needs, why do you have to lie? And people
Exactly.
be lying about the littlest stuff that you
Don't
really
they?
don't need to lie about.
Don't
And
they?
if you're just starting, people will be like, well, People want social proof, and people want testimonials, and people want this. Say I'm doing a beta ram. I'm doing this, and I this is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for social proof. I'm looking for testimonials. I need this so that I can build, because I want to release this. I am in a pre-launch. I am in a beta launch. I am in a whatever. You can say that and package this in your messaging that's truthful, honest, wrapped in integrity, and still be able to have successful sales conversations. Did you
Yeah.
have anything that you wanted to add to that, Kyna?
No, I mean, other than you said something, you mentioned integrity, and I can't tell you the number of people that I've worked with. I've been, oh my gosh, a couple years, it'll be 20 years. Anyway, notice I said I was getting ready to say 20. I'm like, but that would be a whole lie. I'm like 2 years away from 20 years. Okay. Anyway, but close enough. But the number of people that I have worked with over the years, and I didn't realize that this was a thing, but they're like, Kyna, you have integrity. And every time I hear that, I'm like, wait, that's a thing? But it is a thing. It is a thing when somebody is like, listen, this you're I'm getting ready to take you through a process that I haven't quite solidified. Like that's real. That's not me saying I'm getting ready to take you through a process that's I didn't use for the past 10 years. Which that's exactly what people do. And I'm like, no, 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 no. No. Number one, if somebody tells me that today, I'm gonna know they're lying. Matter of fact, I'm going to question you, period, because I'm like, if you've been doing this for 10 years, and especially if you're consulting and coach, things have changed, things evolve.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're still using something from 10 years ago, you're outdated. And now I'm questioning everything else that you say to me.
Mm-hmm.
And please, I'm a numbers person. So, like Jay, you tell me $1.5 million, I'm looking for the fine print.
Mm-hmm.
Kyna puts her glasses on and she's like, okay, what does that bottom part say? What does that say down there? Because I want to
Mm-hmm.
see what this says. Because a lot of times that'll actually show you that they're not lying. They just made the fine print so small to let you know, like, oh no, we just launched this in April 2026. And the results may vary.
Mm-hmm.
All you have to follow, like it actually gives you these things. So
Yeah.
please be real. Be off. I'm not even gonna say be as real as you can be. No, be real, period. The people that you're looking to attract need that. They don't, it's not even a want at this point. It's a necessity that you're real with them. Because when you're not, when you lie, you're telling your customer, and especially if they find out, but you're telling that person that you're looking to attract that you don't trust their judgment. That's all that's saying. Because if I tell you the truth, then you may not work with me.
Mm.
So, so be real. Be real.
That was a gut punch. Woo. I tell you the truth. If I showed you who I really was, you wouldn't want me. Dang.
I don't know. Those are the thoughts that sometimes go through that had went through my head over the years. Like if I tell them, but I need to tell you the truth because it's going to come out. It's going to eventually come out anyway. In some way, shape, or form, it's going to come out. So
You Yep. They're gonna see the man behind the curtain eventually. That's
the
a
little
that's a
man.
Wizard of Oz. But okay, so if you are at this point in this episode, we're going to start something new, and we're going to give you an action exercise, okay? And the the action exercise is really simple. I want you to, in the comments, or even on a piece of paper. I want you to write down what you're actually struggling to sell. Is it your offer, a product, a service, an idea, whatever it is? What are you struggling to sell? Then I want you to ask yourself these questions. Am I struggling because the offer is unclear? Is it because I don't believe in it yet? Is it because I'm afraid to sell it? Is it because you're focusing more on the offer instead of who it's intended for? And also, is it because the transformation is not honest, clear, or just haven't been proven yet? Okay, so I want you to write that down and answer those questions or figure out which one it is. If you are feeling like, okay, Jay, I don't know which one it is, or Jay is all of it. If it's all of it, then that's fine. What I also want you to do is take the next step. And the next step is to click the link that's in the description so that you can get on a call with Kyna and I, and we will help sort it out. Okay? Because if this exercise and this episode is helping you to realize that the issue isn't just about content or your visibility, it's about your offer and your messaging, your sales process, your business foundation, and how you're showing up, then we need to have that conversation with you, because we do have something in place that's going to help you, and it's the Iconic Business Reset. And that's going to be the link that's in the description. This is where we help you look at exactly what's happening, what's slowing down that sale, what's weakening your offer, what's weakening your positioning, and making your business harder than it needs to be to grow. So the reset is going to help you identify what needs to be cleaned up, what needs to be clarified, strengthened, or rebuilt, so we can eliminate the guessing work and taking you from the build, strengthen, grow, and scale stages, and building a sustainable business that's going to support the life that you want to create for yourself, and and by extension, your audience and your clients. Okay, so go ahead and click the link down below. Kyna, another one in the reels, in the bag. I'm so happy. How you feel about this episode?
This I was gonna say once we like ended that this is one of our good episodes.
Yes.
And if you've been listening to us, then you should see the evolution. You should see not necessarily consistency yet, but you should see some of the things that we've been talking about. Like Jay just sold to you. We don't do that often. We haven't done that often. And so ideally, as we're getting better, we hope that you will do the same thing, that you'll start to take the things that you're seeing us do, the things that we're suggesting that you implement in your business, clicking the link being one of them, because you're sick and tired of being stuck. You're sick and tired of this merry-go-round. You want somebody who is going to be real with you. Like, I'm it. I'm going to tell you, you may not like me afterwards. There are many people that walk away from me and they're annoyed. And you know why they're annoyed? Because I told them the truth. You're not ready. I'm not saying never, but right now, for what you're looking to do, you're not ready. Like, I just had that conversation with somebody just now, earlier today. And I mean, the look on the face, yeah, but you need that. As you're building your business, you need people with integrity. You need people who are going to be honest with you, who are not going to sugarcoat where you are, because otherwise that build stage, that foundational stage, you're building on shaky ground. Your foundation is sand. Come work with us, it's not sand anymore. It will become concrete.
Oh, I like that.
You do need the
I've been
sand.
hearing that. I've been hearing this like for the last couple of weeks. That's a bar. Oh, that's a bar. All right, y'all. Y'all have a good one. You could have been doing anything in the world, but you chose to spend this time with us, and we're grateful and thankful. Until next time, y'all. Bye.